I was about 11 years old when I found out.
She almost set the house on fire.
Majority of my childhood, I really didn't have a lot of time to spend with her.
It was like she was there, but she wasn't.
Just left me there.
When I found out when my mother was on drugs, I mean, I knew, but I was too little to understand really. But as I got up into age, I kind of figured out what it was and kind of figured out why she wasn't around, why she wasn't spending time with me. It affected my relationship with my mother by not letting me have a lot of time to spend with her. For the majority of my childhood, I really didn't have a lot of time to spend with her. I spent time with her, but not like how I wanted to, like a father, like a mother-son relationship should be. It wasn't like that.
It was this one time where I got in trouble in school. It was on a Thursday, and usually every Friday we would go to Markham roller skate rink. So I got in trouble that Thursday, so I couldn't go anywhere Friday. So I thought she was in the bed asleep, so I snuck out the kitchen window and went up to the church, because that's where the bus pick you up at the church, and it takes you to Markham roller skate rink. Snuck out and went to the roller skate rink, had the time of my life. Got back home, and that was the worst time of my life. Yeah, she was high.
My parents don't know, but my mom knows. Like, she caught me doing it, and she's really upset about it. And now she thinks I'm a bad kid for it. But I've been taking marijuana since I was in 6th grade, so she hasn't known, but she recently found out. So she's starting to think I'm a bad kid, but I'm not.
I believe my mama stole from the house, stole money. She would stay away from days at a time. I don't know what she was doing at that particular time, but she would stay away quite a time to keep up her habit.
I think I started doing it because I was just, depressed. Who wants to see their parents, on drugs?
They always worked. My dad was an alcoholic. Yes, he's been a cokehead, but he's still an idol, and he still could be something. My mom, she's a nurse. I don't never blame my parents. They never noticed.
People looked at me like, man, this dude is a jughead. He likes doing drugs, when I really wasn't. I just liked smoking weed back then.
Drug I took was 5 grams of premature mushrooms, and I ate it in a peanut butter sandwich. And it was a horrible night because I ran away from my home that night. I went to my friend's house. I was gonna crash there. Then his mom said I couldn't sleep there, so right when the mushrooms started kicking in, they kicked me out the house. And I tried walking around trying to find my way home, but I couldn't read for anything to save my life. I came across a bar where this guy, he was really drunk. I asked him, how do I get home? So he already had a cab, and he's like, here man, just take it. He gave the taxi driver $20 and was like, can you make sure he gets home fine? Sure. And I got home.
I went in the bathroom to smoke because my brother smoked, so I would have just blamed it on them. And my mom found out, so she got all angry and she started yelling. And I thought it was supposed to make you happy, but at that moment it just made me mad and more angry and made me think of a whole bunch of stuff. So I got mad at my mom. I took pills. I tried to kill myself. I prayed not to wake up.
I got into an altercation with one of my closest friends. We couldn't get a weed connect, and it took us about 2.5 hours to find one, and we still didn't find one, so we said screw it. And we was going home, and on my way home, he kept on pissing me off about how we could have gotten it from this place and that place, and I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, I should have listened to him. And he kept wanting to fight me in the middle of the street for it. He kept pushing me, and I told him, leave it alone. It's just a bag of weed. And then he took me to the edge, so I told him, he said, you want to fight? Then come with me to my crib, I got something for you. Went in my house, grabbed a knife and I tried to kill him.
Time I was at the park just chilling with like a whole bunch of homeboys from the hood or whatever you want to call it, and they gave me something. They said that it was weed. It wasn't weed. I don't know what it was, but I remember waking up to a man, and I don't know who this man was, and he looked 40 years old.
I think that we need to teach our children because times have changed from back in the 80s. I didn't know what drugs were until I got older, and I think now the children, they know so much. It's like right there. You can get it from anybody.
When I grow up, I want my kids seeing me not being, I want them to know that I'm gonna be there for them, and I ain't gonna go nowhere.
Just do you. Do what makes what you like to do. Like play video games if you want to smoke or thinking about, or go outside and play sports with your friends. Just, you don't have to smoke to fit in or whatever. You just do you.
Welcome to Hardcover News. I'm Brittany Lyani.
And I'm Akeem Hogan.
Today's segment is about teen violence. Violence has struck our communities in different ways.
Fights in schools, gang fights, riots.
Our hardcover team went out to get CPS students' perspectives on the violence in and out of school.
What do you feel about teen violence in school?
I think teen violence is wrong because lately kids been getting beat up for the wrong reasons.
Too many kids dying.
Yeah.
And as a mother, you don't want to go through that.
Well, it's hard to hear that on the news, when you hear about kids being shot and hurt and beat up for absolutely no reason at all.
What are the main causes of fights on school grounds?
Over some he say, she say stuff, tell the truth.
Because people are ignorant and they, just want to start because of little stuff.
It's rumors because one person could hear something, but instead of going to the source, they'll just take it and then they'll deal with it in their own matter.
Over silly stuff. Because another girl called another girl a bad word and they just want to fight. It's stupid.
People are too busy listening to drama and getting into he said, she said when they should actually be focusing on themselves and on their work instead of focusing on everybody else around them.
At a student level, because maybe they're trying to prove a point, maybe they have taken as much as they're going to take from somebody if they're being bullied.
Do you think fights in school are connected to violence outside of school?
Yeah, very much so, because there's a lot of gang fights. Like, if you're in a gang and somebody from another crew doesn't like you, they'll come up to you in school.
If something happened like on the block, they say then they would bring it to the school, and then they're solving the school fights, lunchroom riots, and stuff like that.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't stop nothing. They didn't chase people out of gas stations, beat them up, brought guns in school. Personally, you ask me, it's crazy, and they ain't stopping it.
According to the Associated Press, before 2006, there was an average of 10 to 15 deaths in Chicago public schools. That rose to 24 deaths and 211 shootings in 2007. And in 2008, there were 34 deaths and 290 shootings.
Just a few months ago, the world watched as Darien Albert, a 6-year-old young man, killed in a gang fight near Finger High School. This drove Chicago Public Schools CEO Ron Huberman to create a new plan to decrease the violence.
Hardcover's Vanessa Alvarez sat down with Drew Barris in the CEO's office so he can discuss Huberman's plan.
Sure, my name is Drew Barris, and I work as the special assistant to the CEO here at the Chicago Public Schools. What we wanted to do is everyone has their attitude and their preconceived notions about what risks a student might be facing, who the troublesome students are, what to be worried about. We wanted to kind of move past that and say, here's a hard and fast statistical, scientific model to the best we can that exists on its own. 500 CPS students roughly have been shot in the last 2 school years. What we did is we took a very hard look at all 500 of those students. So we wanted to know what were their attendance patterns like. Were they getting in trouble in school when they were attending school? Were they involved in fights? Were they doing their homework? Were they getting good grades? Were they on track to graduate? And we're talking only about high school students here. We began to see a trend, and the trend was the students that were shot were likely to have attended about 40% of the school days, were very likely to be involved in misconducts when they were in school, and some of them were at a greater likelihood to be homeless than students that weren't shot. And we basically built a large equation, an algorithm that controlled for these variables and said, look, this is kind of a regression, a statistical model for risk of being shot. You then applied that model to every high school student in Chicago. So everyone in the room here went through that model. If you're in that first group, so that group of 250 students, you're given a mentor through a program called the Youth Advocate Program. And also these kids will get jobs. So, it's not going to be a high-paying job, but it's something that gets them a sense of responsibility and something to show up to every day to try to give them extra money in their pocket and also show them that, look, there's a different way.
And now Vanessa Alvarez will give us her comments about the plan.
I had the great opportunity to interview someone from CPS headquarters. Before this, of course, I had my reservations. I felt that using statistics might not be the best way to choose the students most at risk of violence. As a student, I think it would be best to use not only the principals but also teachers, since they could get to know their students through the regular school day. My biggest disagreement was CPS focusing mainly on the so-called bad students only. I thought they should take care of all students and not only offer this opportunity to those who were chosen. I felt that the way they pick students might single them out. After meeting with Mr. Barris, I understood CPS perspective. Making a difference in these kids' lives will hopefully help the school environment as a whole. Whether or not we agree with the plan, we all want to secure a better future for our community.
The schools can help, but not unless we help ourselves. The real plan in order to end violence begins with us.
Until next time, this is Hardcover News. Peace.
What I think about people purchasing guns is that I think it's useless, a waste of money. Instead of buying weapons, we should start helping our community and try to stop this, but I think it's impossible because we, humanity, grew up with violence, so yeah.
In your opinion, is violence ever going to stop?
Like I said, I think it's never going to stop. It's just going to keep getting stronger and stronger. And I guess the only thing that could stop it is the world coming to an end, I guess.
One time, I was on my block, and this pregnant lady got shot by this group of people. And after they shot her, they went to the car, and I ran home with my sisters. Only certain people should be able to use guns if they've had a history of violence, they just shouldn't be able to have it.
I heard in Kilburn Park next to where I live, and my friend's mom actually saw the whole thing. There was a shooting of two guys who were just walking, and then a car pulls up, and they just start shooting at them, and then one of them gets shot, and actually when that person got shot, the other people drove off, and then he was holding his friends in his arms, and he was just dying. I think people buy guns because they're either scared of where they live, or gangs buy guns because either it's cool or they want to kill another gang member. People will say they join gangs because they got each other's backs, but if you're getting another person back, that's more like called a friend, and you should just be friends, not actually join a gang. I think holding a gun, or even like having a gun like even locked up in your house, is wrong. Even if you don't use it, even owning a gun would be wrong. Like, you can have self-defense, but you should never carry a gun because guns could take people's lives. I know, like, putting gang members into jail won't do much, but at least it'll do something to keep gangs from buying guns. And like, we should try to ban guns from the whole United States, so there's no transportation buying guns from another state and transporting it here and selling them. So yeah, cops sometimes do their jobs, but some of them just, like, pull out their gun right away and like just cause more violence to happen instead of solving it the right way.
My uncle was shot when I was 13 with his friend in the back. He got shot in the leg though. I think they thought that he was somebody else.
How do you feel about that?
Well, at the moment I was sad because I thought he was dead, but I'm happy he's not dead.
Well, this person was a relative of mine. He was shot because he was hanging around with the wrong people. And yeah, he got shot because he was around more with gangbangers and then any other people.
My aunt told me a story once about this kid who was at Kilburn Park. My aunt was there with my two cousins, and they were just at the playground, and then she saw this kid getting bullied by like 3 other, I think they were gang members. She didn't tell me, but they were bullying him, and then they started like pushing him to the floor, and I think they started punching him. She just said that he was being bullied by them, so she like took the kids and she left the park, and like halfway out the park someone heard a gunshot, and like she didn't turn around, but she later found out that the kid got shot. She said she was frightened for a few days because she was right there. It could have been her, because she was like right there.
This guy got shot at the end of the corner of my block, and I remember I went outside because there was a bunch. I could see a bunch of lights, and I went outside and I asked the neighbors. They were like, "Oh, somebody got shot," and I was like, "Oh, well, nothing ever happened to my block," so I felt a little excited. So I told my brother, my sister, my parents. Like, they all came out. Everybody in the block came out to see, and yeah. So I doubt gun violence can ever be stopped. Reason being, if you limit someone to something they cannot do, like ever, they'll want to do it, such as drugs. Since we put drugs into legalness, or we're gonna want to do it constantly. So.
Well, I came from Palestine, next to Jerusalem. When I was a little kid, 2nd grade, we were in my school from 1st grade to 5th, playing around like it was recess, like having fun in the playground. And some Jewish soldier came in their vehicle and threw a tear gas in the middle of the playground. And so when they threw it, the teacher came in and picks us up from the playground, and we went to the class back. They got so pissed, they threw another one. So we were running to the classes and sat down. And so that was a scary day for me because I was a little kid, and they threw something. I thought it was like a grenade or something was gonna blow up. And that day my parents were frightened and came to America. And there was another time when I was a little kid, 3rd grade, in my house. We were like sitting down in our living room, and we see a gunshot. It was like red thing coming up off our house. When we looked outside, they were aiming at us, like up in our houses, because every day at night, Jewish soldiers don't like to see like lights up. They think that we're doing something bad, so they told us to turn off the light or else. So we had to turn it off, but they were shooting at other people, and we seen like red bullet flying. It looks like fire in a way. So yeah. it was a scary day for me. I never seen anyone get shot, and except I heard one. Like, it wasn't like a close friend. He was part of my class. He was a little kid. Like, they were in the mountain, the Jewish soldiers. They were camping like upstairs, and this little kid just walked up there. They thought he had a bomb or something. It was about to kill him, so they just shot him right there.
Why
So
did? Oh,
it was
sorry.
scary. Like, for the little kid, I felt sorry for him. Well, I think guns are wrong. Like, if you take someone's life, that's it. They're just never gonna come back. Why would you hold a gun and take someone's life? That's just wrong, you know?
My sister lives in South Carolina, and she was dating this guy for I don't know how long. And one day she called me up, and she was all in a panic mood, and she told me that her boyfriend had got shot, and she didn't have nothing else, and hung the phone on me, and never talked about it ever again.
I don't think anybody should actually purchase a gun. It's not necessary. I think it's pointless. You could understand that some people need them because of protection and all this other stuff, but in reality, I don't think you would have to like actually purchase a gun to like defend yourself. Last year, my cousin got jumped by like 3 girls, and you know she was by herself. You know, I think that's pretty messed up, especially in school. You get me? I think, you know, since our school has metal detectors, and you know, when you come inside, you know, they check you and everything. But I also believe that, you know, people who start drama and all this should like really get suspended or get kicked out and go to another school. If everybody agrees to one thing, you know, that can make a whole difference in just your community. A lot of teenagers do listen to teenagers, you know, because they don't really listen to the upperclassmen. They only listen to each other. And I think if, you know, ourselves talking to them and doing this video stuff, I think it will help a lot.
My brother was shot by a gang.
I was shot at a party.
My grandpa was shot and killed by a gun.
Yes to unity, yes to peace, no to violence, no to the streets, yes to the growth, we have to increase love, joy, unity, peace, yes to unity, yes to peace, no to violence, no to the streets, yes to the growth, we have to increase love, joy, unity, peace.
From 1976 through 2007, the rate of death among youth has decreased greatly, but is still extremely high, with nearly 3,000 youth killed each year by guns. In Chicago, during the 2007-2008 school year, 24 public school students were shot and killed. Despite measures taken to combat gun violence, little progress has been made. Recently, the National Rifle Association filed a lawsuit against Chicago asking for legalized handguns. Also, in Washington, D.C., the Supreme Court declared their attempt to ban handguns unconstitutional, halting gun prevention in its very tracks. Why is gun violence happening? Why are so many youth losing their lives to guns?
It's too easy to get guns.
Once you turn 18, it's basically as long as you're approved, you can go and get a gun.
All you need to do is have there's a background check and a 7-day wait period, then they will give you a gun.
But some people do make guns illegally, and they sell them illegally.
This one guy was coming up here from Mississippi bringing guns, and he was having other people purchase them from him, and he was getting them and coming here selling them to gangbangers.
The Lane Bryant murder, the 1981 murder of a suburban woman.
A 5-year-old boy killed.
The media is so strong, it can speak through us through the radios, through the magazines, through the TV, and even through our friends.
The media has more access to our mind than home, church, or school combined.
They're trying to get across the fact that maybe gun violence is a good thing.
You see all these movies like 007 and all these superhero movies with weapons and things. They make them look cool and everything, and you looking at it, you might want to go get one yourself.
So there has been a lot of talk about the violence in our city and its effect on young people. But how can we keep kids from joining gangs?
Just getting kids involved in things that aren't, have them on the streets.
Kids can start joining after-school activities, can start staying in school.
Stopping the flow of guns
Stop the access, stop the trafficking, begin to have registration of guns, begin to have transfer of guns and reporting of guns and licensing of gun shops.
We must control ourselves, our anger, and not in our anger injure or kill somebody.
Destroy the thinking that has come into our mentality of this culture of this day, that violence is an acceptable mode of behavior.
A gun shouldn't be a last resort, shouldn't be a first, shouldn't be a resort at all.
We'll get gun laws when people on the streets around this city and this country begin to rise up to say to legislators, guess what? We are tired of this easy access to guns. We want tougher gun laws.
Gun violence rates are extremely high, and gun violence is the second leading cause of death among teenagers in America. Each year, an average of 3,000 youth are shot and killed by guns. That's an average of 8 teens and children killed each day. In Chicago, over 20 public school students lose their lives to guns each year. Gun violence is the latest epidemic decimating America's youth. The difference between gun violence and other epidemics such as cancer is that gun violence is preventable. Enrolling youth in after-school programs, increased gun control legislation, and talking out personal conflicts are just a few ways to help prevent this epidemic. What else can we do to help prevent this problem? How many more youth must die before guns are taken off the street? When will the gun violence end? For the youth of Chicago, it can't come soon enough.
Yes to unity, yes to peace, no to violence, no to the streets, yes to the growth, we have to increase love, joy, unity, peace, yes to unity, yes to peace, no to violence, no to the streets, yes to the growth, we have to increase love, joy, unity, peace, we outta here, peace.
Stop the violence.
We outta here, peace.
Stop the violence.
Produced by no other than
Stop the violence.
Isaac Nichols, aka Rap 101, and Mr. Figure 85. Stop the violence. I'm hollering peace, baby.